1 year ago today, we were preparing to presume the presidency role of the network. For us in Canada, that time was certainly one of great uncertainty. Uncertainty in how the pandemic would continue to play out for us and all nations across the globe, and uncertainty on how the pandemic would continue to affect consumers globally. Fortunately, today, we see the light at the end of the tunnel. Countries are beginning to reopen, vaccines are being administered at ever-increasing rates, and border restrictions are beginning to ease. Heureusement, aujourd'hui, nous voyons la lumière au bout du tunnel. Les pays commencent à rouvrir leurs portes, les vaccins sont administrés à un rythme toujours plus rapide et nous attendons avec impatience la levée des restrictions aux frontières lorsque nous pourrons à nouveau tous nous réunir. Today brings us to the end of our 3-day ICPEN conference and also brings us very close to the end of our tenure as the ICPEN President. Over the course of the last 3 days, I believe we have all had a great opportunity to discuss the enforcement issues that matter most to consumers and to our respective organizations. I encourage you all to keep these important discussions moving in the months ahead. Certainly, we can say that adapting to change that we neither asked for nor expected has been a shared burden throughout this pandemic. And despite it all, we continue to move forward with the hope of soon returning to a better normal. And I would like to take you back to 1996. As some of you may know, that was the last time Canada was vested with the ICPEN Presidency, an entire generation ago. Back then, the consumer-based internet was in its infancy. The biggest businesses in the world were automotive and oil companies. And that was a world away from where we were in 2019 when Canada proposed to assume the role of the 2020-2021 ICPEN Presidency. And let me say that 2019 is a whole world away from where we are right now. We all had plans in 2019, but then we were forced to make new ones. COVID-19 rapidly changed the way we work, live, and interact with each other. And as I like to say, it has turned the digital marketplace into the marketplace. It raised physical borders, but pulled down transactional ones. It amplified risks to consumers around the world. It redefined trust. It made the case crystal clear, the case we have been making for years, that more work is needed to ensure coordinated enforcement action among international organizations and deeper consumer protection strategies in this ever-changing digital landscape. When we assumed the role as president, we set out to deliver a program of work that would build consumer trust in an ever-changing digital marketplace. We developed a program that would seek to focus upon the digital economy, first and foremost, and the issues that mattered most to consumers, and of course, with special attention to the COVID-19 pandemic affecting all of us. Before I highlight some of our network achievements, I would like to say a few words regarding the legacy Canada hopes to leave behind. Under our presidency, operating within the Canadian Competition Bureau framework, we have worked to build a legacy of inclusiveness, transparency, and diversity of voice. And also important, collaboration. Core values and principles reflective of the Canadian spirit. First, inclusiveness. We've worked to ensure that ICPEN, as a leading international consumer protection network, would be as inclusive as possible. We have expanded the network under the Canadian Presidency. There is no doubt that we all benefit from a diverse network with widespread geographical and cultural representation. I believe the continued growth of ICPEN is an essential component to its long-term success and its ability to deliver on its mandate well into the future. Second, transparency. Transparency in regards to how we communicate the important enforcement and outreach efforts we engage in as a network. I believe that in order to protect the over 5 billion consumers we aim to serve, we need to raise awareness of all the noteworthy efforts we are advancing as a coordinated and interconnected network. Third, diversity of voice. Diversity of voice is important as it ensures all ICPEN members, each with unique backgrounds, experiences, and skills, have the opportunity to equally participate and advance the core objectives of the network. by allowing for a broader membership base and the opportunity to share and exchange different and at times diverging views and perspectives, I believe we can better serve all global consumers. Because we know that diversity of voices is the path to success. And finally, collaboration. You've heard me speak at length about collaboration over the past 3 days, but this is for a good reason. Our collaboration with other global organizations will serve to better highlight the important work we do. It will serve to highlight our role as a leading consumer protection network and will ultimately allow us to better protect consumers worldwide. In a time of mass digital expansion, more and more conduct is occurring across sovereign borders. And when borders disappear, enforcement challenges increase. It makes little sense to work alone when a problem stamped up in one region pops up in another the next day. Borderless problems demand borderless solutions, and borderless solutions find themselves in international collaboration networks such as ICPEN. While I do believe we have accomplished a great deal in the past year, there is still more work to be done. As the outgoing president, here is what I see on the road ahead. More of what has made this organization so successful to date and so effective this past year. We all know the digital economy is moving fast. ICPEN will need to keep pace. And we know it will, because we must. All things digital will continue to be a defining feature of our collective work. As international law enforcement agencies, we must be nimble and ready to adapt to the new reality and the changing digital landscape that lies ahead in a post-pandemic era. We must continue to question and look at whether we are positioned to address the challenges of today, but also those of the future. Our success as an organization will be measured upon our ability to keep pace with the massive digital expansion and disruption and the constant transformation in the marketplace we all operate in. Let me say here that while we have faced challenging times, we also have had an unprecedented opportunity to build a stronger and more competitive network of international consumer protection authorities. And as we continue to face unprecedented challenges, namely COVID-19 and the staggering pace of technological change, I appeal to you all to act on the issues we have discussed over the course of the conference in a collective manner. Indeed, after a year of incredible change, more change comes for ICPEN at the start of next month. This is when our colleagues from the Consumer Directorate General of Portugal assume the presidency. And in wishing them the very best, new challenges will present themselves. And when they do, we know that Portugal will have this mighty network here to serve, ready to surf the wave of cooperation to protect consumers, as their theme motto tells us. I would also like to take a moment to extend special thanks to our colleagues from the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission for contributing to our conference, but also in coming forth as the 2022-2023 ICPEN President. Indeed, as Canada winds up our time as President, I speak for all of us when I say that ICPEN is in very capable hands with Portugal and Australia. As the great physicist and best-selling author Carlo Rovelli puts it, the world isn't really made of objects or things. It's made of relations, a network of them. These relationships, as he says, are the magic of the world. I cannot express how proud I am to have had the honor to represent the network and Team Canada over the past year. It has truly been a humbling experience and one that I will cherish. Je ne peux exprimer à quel point je suis fière d'avoir eu l'honneur de représenter le réseau, qui comprend tant de nations remarquables et tant que votre président au cours de l'année écoulée. Ce fut vraiment un honneur et une expérience pleine d'humilité. Let me conclude by saying that all that the Canadian Presidency was able to achieve simply could not have been possible without the amazing, amazing work of each member of Team Canada. And to all of you who have joined us over the last few days and during the course of our presidency, we have felt your virtual presence throughout. Your enthusiastic participation and steadfast support was very much appreciated by all of us at Team Canada.